Hey sweet friends, welcome back to my channel. And what I have for you today is a haul from Save-A-Lot. And I wanted to go see what I could find that would fit into our keto carnivore diet. And I did find a few things. I'm not sure whether we're going to like them, but we're going to try them, and then I will later let you know whether we like it or not. One of the first things that I have is this beef broth. My recipe was calling for beef bone broth, and I know that I can make my own, but right now we're just getting started on our ketogenic keto carnivore diet. So I want to go ahead and try this and see how this is going to work in our recipes. I also got some chicken broth from there, and the reason that we go there, they do a cut of beef for us. It's called the beef rump roast. They had two of those out. We picked up the two. I love to put these in the crock pot, and I'll share that recipe with you one day. I may already have that link, video up. If I have that one up, I will put that link in the description box below. We go for these, and you sear them, then you put them in the crock pot and let them cook. And if we have anything left, then we will maybe make a barbecue beef and have that on the side with another item. One of the things that we find is being pretty successful for us is having a variety on our plate. Now, I do like vegetables, and Larry's not crazy about the vegetables, but sometimes when we're only having one meat, I will fix me a vegetable on the side. Speaking of vegetables, I've got a green pepper. I fix a keto Philly cheesesteak skillet, and I'll also link that recipe in the description box. And I like the green peppers and onions. Also, mushrooms goes in that, but their sliced mushrooms didn't look so good, so I did pick these whole ones up. I'll clean them up and slice them up, and this will go in one of the meals. For something crunchy, I did get the original fried pork skins if I just want something a little salty. Bacon, this is Smithfield brand. I thought the thick cut hometown original, we're gonna try that. This looks like it's got a lot of fat, and this one might be one that I cook in my skillet and save the grease in my grease container. And speaking of my grease container, this is what I got from Amazon. It's got, it's like an enamelware. It's got the little strainer, and then it's got the lid, and I'll just leave that out and use it to cook with. And I don't have to refrigerate it because I'm going to use it up. But I used to do this way back when I was first starting to cook, you know, in my teens and 20s. And, you know, I always see my granny and my mom use it. And I used to use it myself and just got away from it. Also picked up this. This is a pork tenderloin, and it's seasoned with roasted garlic and cracked black pepper. Dry rubbed with seasoning, and this has 2 grams for every 4 ounces. This is a 19 ounce, so that would be a pretty good little chunk of 4 ounces for 2 carbs, so we're going to give that a try. Also, I'm looking for low carb beef franks. This is the Nathan's brand, and this one has 1 carb and 0 sugar, so I picked those up because it didn't have the sugar in it. So I'm trying to get away from as much sugar as I can. We needed some eggs because we have bacon and eggs or sausage and eggs each morning, or an omelet. And so we go through quite a bit of those. Larry wanted a little bit of some pepperoni, maybe as just a snack with a piece of cheese. And this has 0 carbs. And I did the same with the salami. And this also has 0 carbs. So a slice or 2 of this and a piece of cheese is more than enough snack. Now I am trying to get away from snacking. However, it's very difficult to do, but if we're going to do it, we're going to make sure that it is low carb. So I try to keep my carbs under 20, which isn't hard to do. Some days I can do 7 to 10. Also found Clifty Farms country ham, and this has 0 carbs and 0 sugar. And just to fix this up in our skillet with some eggs of the morning, to be a little different taste. And we're trying to put as much variety because we know that if we don't stay prepared, we will fail. I'm excited and motivated about this keto carnivore diet. And so we're trying to find foods that's going to work for us in our home and our lifestyle. And this is going to be something major. Now, will we ever go back? It's hard to say if we will go back. We know that we will gain the weight back because every time we've done keto, the weight comes right back in just a matter of weeks. So we're hoping to make this a lifestyle change and find things that we really like and healthy. We got one more thing, and we got some of these boneless pork chops. There's a keto recipe, and I will share that with you. And I want to fix that and try that. And it calls for either bone-in, whichever kind you like, bone-in or boneless. And I do cook with that little fat. That is the tastiest part about a pork chop, is that right there. Now, I used to fry them, but not anymore. You know, if I was going to cook them like that and fry in a skillet, I definitely would use some butter, but not all the flour and gravy and stuff like we used to eat. So that is my little haul from Save-A-Lot. And I'll let you know how some of these are going to work and whether we like them. You know, everybody's taste is different. Everybody finds a different way of ketogenic or carnivore. When my doctor, my cardiologist said, eat clean, that just flew over my head like, okay. And went home and didn't change a thing. Because he told me, he said, I have no more medicine. If this blood pressure medicine doesn't work, he said, we have nothing else. From this point on, it's left up to me. So this is our journey, and I'm not a doctor. I'm not a health advisor in any way. I'm just sharing with you what we're doing and what's working for us, sharing it with you guys. My suggestion is contact your doctor to make sure that whatever you do is going to be right for you medically and personally. I'm not suggesting that you do this, but I'm going to share recipes. I'm going to share our journey, and my husband will also share his journey about how he feels. He's always said, I feel better when we do keto. We sleep better and we have more energy, and we're going to get into some of those factors as we go along because we're already beginning to feel a difference, and we want to share that with you guys. Okay, the first meal we're sharing with you is meal number 1, steak and shrimp. I take 1 package of this red Argentina shrimp and I clean it up a little bit. It comes ready to go, but I like to clean it up a little bit, and I also split it. And I put half of it ready to cook, and the other half I put in the refrigerator for a meal for tomorrow night, and we'll go over that. What you cooking?
Some steak going on here. Porterhouse.
Looks good.
Oh yeah, it does. It won't be long.
Now back to the shrimp. I'm just melting a couple of tablespoons of butter. You can use whatever you want. If you want avocado oil or, you know, something with low carb. I like to cook it in the butter. I have split each one so that they cook. And I don't like to overcook my shrimp. I think it just gets too chewy and tough. So I really watch my skillet when I'm cooking this, and I just like to brown all sides, and then I'll use that butter sauce in the skillet to go over the shrimp when I plate it. Now that juicy steak is all grilled up with all the perfect marks that Larry fixes on there, I will take the small side of the steak, usually 3 or 4 ounces for me, but he'll put that on the plate for me, and then he'll take the other part of the steak. Now we're going to plate up our shrimp with the steak. And I divided that in half, and I'll take a little butter sauce over that. And then I'll also put some on his plate. And go ahead and dip the remainder of that butter sauce out. That's just yummy. You don't want to leave that behind. And here is my plate. Steak and shrimp, plenty enough. The second delicious meal is salmon and shrimp. We're going to use this disposable pan, just easy cleanup. You can get a whole package of these at about any of your stores. And we have these salmon patties that are individually wrapped. So I'm going to have one and Larry's going to have two. I've got my pepper seasoning. I got some cooking spray so that they don't stick. I got a lemon that I'm going to cut up. And I'm just going to slice up the lemon. We're going to use the juice from the lemon on the salmon, but I want 3 very thin slices to go on each one of the salmon patties. And I just want to cut those very thin. And once we place these in the container, go ahead and preheat your oven to about 400. You're going to leave it in there. I believe it's for 12 or 15 minutes. Go with what the package tells you to cook. We've got a little bit of dill. So just spray your pan so that your fish is not going to stick. You can also do this same thing with cod or any of your fish and use the seasoning that you like for your fish. And these are just some of the ones that we like. I like the lemon pepper. So here we're fixing up a couple of tablespoons of butter. We're going to melt that in the microwave and going to add some seasoning. And this will be your lemon pepper. And Larry likes a little cumin on his and Mrs. Dash. So whatever your favorite seasonings are, you can just add to this. Originally, Larry had this right. The lemon was supposed to go on the salmon, and he's putting the lemon juice. Yummy stuff. But the lemon originally would go on there and then all of your seasonings, but I told him to hold off, that it goes on after. So he was correct. I was wrong. I didn't take the time to read the recipe correctly, but we'll just carry on. But be sure and put your lemon slices on top of your salmon patties before cooking. Once this is all done, you have all your seasoning. He's just adding a little bit of dill. And then these are going to go in the oven at 400 for 15 minutes. And while those are baking in the oven, I will take the shrimp that I had from the night before, and I will cook that in the butter in the skillet again, and we'll have the same shrimp as we did the night before. Now on your shrimp, if you want to add anything like some Cajun spices or any spices you like on your seafood, you can also add that to your shrimp. I just like the butter sauce. I don't like anything else, just the butter sauce. And here are our plates, all plated up with our salmon and our shrimp. And here is where I put the lemon on top of it. It should have been put on in the oven, but I'll show you how I do that next time. Always follow the directions that your recipe gives. And this is just going to be a wonderful, yummy meal. We're going to enjoy it. Now for my shrimp and salmon, I like to make a little bit of butter sauce. I will melt a couple of tablespoons of butter. I will also add some seasoning of my favorite kind, and then I just use that as a dipping sauce for all of my food. This looks so yummy. We're going to really enjoy it. Next meal that I'm sharing with you is a creamy sun-dried tomato chicken skillet. The original recipe calls for chicken thighs, but I'm going to use the chicken breast. I like the white meat the best. This oil is from the jar of the sun-dried tomatoes. This is just yummy. Use it instead of the regular oil. And I'm just dipping the chicken. I took 2 chicken breasts and I sliced them in half like fillets. And I'm dipping it in grated Parmesan and going to put it in that yummy oil from the jar of sun-dried tomatoes. I'm going to brown these and make sure that they don't stick, and brown them up just a little. And this really makes them look good in your skillet later. So you're not going to completely cook them. You're going to brown them on the side, and then you're going to put them on a plate and set them aside. I will link the full recipe on a different video, and when I have that up and ready, I will put that link in the description box here below. But this recipe is actually from Keto Recipe on Pinterest. Now you can leave that oil in there if you want, or you can empty it. But I have a little more of that oil from the sun-dried tomatoes, and I'm going to put that in there, heat it up, and then you want to add your sun-dried tomatoes, your garlic. I just use garlic. You can cut up the garlic if you want. It called for 4. You could also put this recipe in half, and you want to soften the sun-dried tomatoes and your garlic. You want to cook that a little bit. Now I went ahead and put the Parmesan cheese in here. It calls for it a little bit later in the recipe, but I just put it all together. And so I just want to soften those tomatoes. One of the things that you want to do with your cup, 1 cup and 1/4 of your heavy whipping cream, is at the beginning of the recipe, put it out and let it room temperature. This keeps the milk from curdling in your hot skillet. After that's all mixed up well, go ahead and take your chicken and put it back in your skillet. And once you have all your pieces in there, I'm actually going to take some of the sauce and put over the top of the chicken, and then I'm going to cover it and cook it. For the white meat, I usually cook this about 20 minutes, just a low bubbly, just a little bubbly. That's how I like to phrase it. And in the 20 minutes, I come back and check it several times, flip them over, and baste more of the sauce on top of them. But you want that chicken to finish cooking. And for the white meat, I do about 20 minutes. If I do the 6, either bone in or bone out chicken thighs, if you like the dark meat, then I would do those for about 25 minutes. Continually come back and just check it. You do not want to scorch that heavy whipping cream, and you want to keep it mixed up, and you want to keep turning them. So I came back about 2 or 3 times and just flipped them over and added a little more sauce over them, and just continued to watch the skillet. But these are really, really delicious. They're full of flavor and not very many carbs. Originally it was 8 carbs for 1 chicken thigh. So this would probably be about the same, because your chicken has 0 carbs in it, whether it's white or dark. So you're getting the carbs in the other ingredients. So that wouldn't change whether you use the white meat or the dark meat. And then after about 20 minutes cooking on low, you can see how the sauce has changed. I'm ready to put it on a plate, and Larry's going to eat 2 of these, and then I'm going to take some of the sauce and just put over that. It's just so yummy. It's almost like a gravy, but it is a very rich sauce and just so full of flavor. We love this dish even if we weren't doing keto. Here is our plates, all done. And I'm going to add a little bit of asparagus to mine. I like a little vegetable every now and then, but I like to leave the cost for the meal, and that is with 1 leftover. 8 carbs for this. It's absolutely delicious. We love it.
I gotta tell you, I absolutely love this every time we have it. The flavor is just everywhere. I don't care if it's keto or not, it's just delicious.
Our next meal that we're sharing with you is just barbecue butter burgers. And Larry is making these and going to put them on the grill. When they come off the grill and they're hot, I put a little dab of butter on them to give the butter flavor. But this is just a prime example of not being prepared with this meal. So we didn't have anything on the side with the burgers. So we had 3 burgers out of this pound of ground round, and it just wasn't enough for the meal. So not being prepared, this one was not a great meal, but this is how we love our burgers, and I should have fixed something on the side. But we found this sugar-free, I think it's called Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. This may be the sweet and tangy, I think. But anyway, 1 tablespoon has 2 carbs, so you don't need very much to get a lot of flavor out of these. And we have found that this really puts a lot more taste to our burgers, especially when they're grilled, or whether you fix them inside in a skillet. Just be a little more prepared than us on this meal, because that wasn't quite enough for us for one meal, just the burgers. We needed something more on the side, maybe a vegetable for me, or maybe some chicken fries. That is something that I want to try. These were still delicious, and so you just have to figure out ways that you can fix your burgers and add some seasoning. So here they are off the grill, and adding just a little bit of butter, and they just had so much flavor with that low-carb barbecue sauce. Maybe we'll be a little prepared next time. Okay, guys, I wanted to give you an 8-week update on my BMI, my body mass index. It's moved a little, just a little bit, not by much, but that's what counts, and it might be a little slow, but it is moving the needle just a bit. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. This was the haul, and I will share more videos to come about what we're doing and recipes and how we're feeling. See you in my next video. Take care.